Welcome to the W.T.F. Where's the Focus podcast? I'm going to bring you a weekly short message on where to put your focus as it relates to sales and building successful business relationships. Knowing where your focus goes, your energy flows. I'm Dan Manginelli, author of the books Wake Up, Jumpstart the Life You've Always Had in Mind, and Shake It Up. Big dreams and bold choices on the road to success. I'm a national speaker on staying motivated and inspired with the right mindset and coach top salespeople around the nation. So let's get started with WTF. What's going on? Welcome to Where's the Focus podcast. I'm Dan Manginelli. And out of sight are the man producers, Alicio and Victor, who's only taken us about 15 times to get this kind of, I'm sausaged in here. And COVID weight on my jacket. It's kind of unbutton that thing. I'm the only person that still wears a jacket. So they're working the board. Hopefully this will go well. My first podcast, I put it together. I think we should have called this the Late to the Party podcast. I think I'm the last person in the world not to have a podcast, but we're going to try it. What we're going to do is put some short, relatable stories, keeping the right mindset to increase some sales career. It's really taking my missteps and blunders to help everybody else from me making mistakes. And I'm learning each day to get better too. There's no doubt. I don't have it figured out. And I know my wife, hope that she hears this, just in case she's listening, that I'm doing my best on getting better as well. We're going to do this weekly. So this will post sometime in June, I'm guessing, of what it would be, because once we figure out how to get it posted, we'll get it up. So it's in June. It's kind of crazy to say. It's almost halfway through the month. Look at that, 2022. We're halfway through the year as well. That's kind of crazy to think that we're moving right on through the year. So I've kind of been in the real estate, I've been in the real estate industry on the finance side for about 35 years. I've been a regional and divisional and owner of a company. And as the market turns, it's kind of funny to hear people talk. When things are good, how great the business is and how things are happening. And it's kind of easy when that happens. Most people are talking about vacations, new homes, boats, jet skis, all the stuff they want to buy. And it's like one big party. And, as every party happens, it kind of comes to an end. I mean, you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here kind of deal. And, as that party ends and the market's changing a little bit, you get that little hangover. That hangover starts, everybody knows about it. That hangover that you get, and kind of feel that tequila coming up from last night or the night before. You kind of get the dry heaves a little bit of what's going to happen. I was in an industry event. There was a whole lot of talk about gloom and doom. Interest rates too high. There's no inventory. Sales prices are too high. There's just the market's going to hell in a handbasket. It's weird to hear when you're trying to keep people inspired to do the things that they don't want to do to get them to new levels in their life, that there's not much adapting of any action if anybody's thinking of doing when the market turns, if it's the stock market, the real estate market, whatever it is. Everybody goes into survival mode. It's like we'll survive this market, or we're going to figure out how to survive this market. There's a big difference between surviving and thriving. Really, in most people's career, this is the time most people, thrive, is when everybody else is figuring out how to just survive. It's real easy to focus on the negative for some reason, because it makes us feel a little bit better about ourselves and the circumstances that we're in. Ever had a friend that started dieting, and you're trying to diet too, and you're with them and they eat a whole chocolate cake, and they let you know afterwards, and you're like, man, I get how you feel, and I understand, but inwards you're really smiling and saying, God, I'm glad you ate that because it makes me feel better about myself because I had a whole pizza last night. And unfortunately, human nature, that's what happens. You find that the good or the bad's controlled about what we're focusing on. And, as I put in the intro of this, where your focus goes, your energy flows. It's kind of a great saying. I was going to put who said it, but there's like 5 people when you go online of exactly where it came from. But it is so true. What you focus on, your energy goes that way. Better said, what do you give your attention to? Where does your attention go? And how long do you give that attention to it? And if you have attention to all the crap that happens in each day, you're focused to the things that you should be doing to help yourself, or your business isn't there because your energy is spent in the wrong direction. Talking about, Johnny Depp, whatever is going on with that thing or whatever. I think it's done already. Doesn't you guys know that? Is it done? Someone owe money somewhere? Did I get some money out of that thing? I don't think I did anything wrong. Good enough. So when you focus your energy and your attention, that's where it heads to. And you start talking about that stuff instead of thinking about all the things to help yourself. And When you're talking about energy of certain people and things, I have kids. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and it kind of brings it to light for me because when you get home from school, and most kids at that age are kind of tired from all the things they did in sports, and I watch her focus on all the time it takes to get to do homework. Anybody ever done that before? Do homework with your 9-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 15-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever old it is? It's kind of the same. The focus kind of is, how do I get this done? And you're taking away from the things that I want to do and what I think's fun and the things I want to do. So it takes about 30 minutes of tears and rolling around and fighting and come on, just if we get this done, and it gets done with just, and when you're done, there's an irritation. It's not like thanks for helping me or anything. It's the irritation. And with me trying to explain, just like everybody else, especially in sales, we've been done by now. It would have been 5 minutes, it would have been over. And I hope some of this sounds familiar if you're driving or listening or watching or whatever you're doing, that as salespeople, we need to make outbound phone calls and focus on taking the time to do all the things we do. But in our mind, it takes away from all the things that we deem fun and we want to do. Right? And after 30 minutes of tears and rolling around and fighting, you make one call. Just like my kid, I don't want to die. Then you make one call and it doesn't work. And then it's trying to explain, this just doesn't work. Forget this. And to that, I say, if you'd have just done it, it wouldn't have been so bad. You would have actually done more of it. And it's not going to be as bad as you think it is as you make it in your head. And that's what happens. You put all these things and negative thoughts in your head of how it's going to be, but it's never that way. And we allow the focus of the struggle and that uncomfortableness of all those things that might go wrong. It stops us from making the calls and meeting people. We play this scenario in our mind. And when you play scenarios in your mind, they're usually not in your favor. You never come out of the scenario most of the time. Sometimes you do, but there's a lot of times you come out of the scenario and they said no, they slammed the phone down. They said, take a hike, go pound sand, whatever it is. You play this out to this bad thing and you're not in the right frame of mind and your energy is in the wrong place. I feel that that focus it took to look at the bad side to go wrong because you can't be let down. Right? When you put the negative stuff and all the things that could happen in your mind, you can't be let down. So where your focus goes, your energy flows into that. And it's hard to focus on the possibilities for success and the potential, when the potential of new business, all you're thinking about is a failure and what it's going to take to get out of your comfort zone, which is always hard because we never want to feel like we fail. But if we don't attempt, we kind of can't fail. Right? I mean, Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you never take. And that's so true. Because you don't try, you can't fail. So why should I try? Because I've already tried in my mind. And in my mind, I didn't win. So it just doesn't work. So I kind of want to put, as we're talking about this week or this month or whenever you guys decide that my wonderful producers, the dream team over here is going to put this up. Focus on the action. Focus on the success. What happens from the action, right? Focus on the faith in yourself that you're a winner and not an overthinker. You won't get results by concentrating on the what ifs. You're going to get results on focusing on the action that produces the results. And as I say this, I want to make sure that none of us get addicted to the past because that's easy to do. We get hooked on the failures that stopped us from trying because in the past it just didn't work. Or we get addicted from the past on some successes that we had from 20 years ago on a spelling bee you won, an award you got in January for a top producer. You get addicted to that. And when you get addicted to that, you don't try because you know what? I'm too good for that. I don't have to do that. That's not for rookies. That's the case. You can't, I'm going to date myself a little bit. If anybody's seen, that's listening to this or watching this, ever seen the movie Men in Black? Have you? Yeah, there's been 9 of them, so I hope that you've seen one of them. If not, I'm going to explain why. In the movie, they take something out when they see something they don't want or clear someone's mind. It's called a little zapper. And when I'm coaching, as soon as I hear people say to me, well, this is how I did it and it didn't work, or this is why I don't, I just want to go zap, right? And take it out. Or, when you ask somebody when they get addicted to the fast, which is a horrible thing to ask people, is how much you weigh. I want to go because usually you go to the best weight they've ever had, right? You go to that weight from when they were 18. Like, obviously, you weigh, I weigh 152, and you're like 215. But you remember that you're addicted to that 152 to stay there. But today's different than yesterday. And what got you where you are right now might not get you where you want to be. Each day, things are going to change. Technology is going to change. Tools are going to change. Programs are going to change. You're going to have to be fluid on how you think and making the changes. I like to call it, your new owner's manual. It's important for ourselves to have this. I'm not the same person I was at 25. Thank God I'm not the same person at 25 because my thoughts at that time were one way and probably in a bad way, like for sure. Because imagine if you were using an owner's manual from a 2000 TV that you were set up today. Think about it. Think about how different it would be. First of all, in 2000, if you remember, even the 90s when the first Plaza came out, there was no such thing as a smart TV. You could barely watch Netflix or anything like that. But if you're using an owner's manual to set it up, it's not going to be set up right. We kind of all need that new owner's manual from a new smart TV or a new DVR system. You're not using a VHS. God, I'm really dating myself, guys. You guys aren't even that old. I don't know. I'm showing how much I am. The old guy here, better hair and makeup because I have no makeup and my hair's pretty much gone, so it didn't take me that long in there. I'm going to wrap this up. So, takeaways for this week: what captures your attention, and what do you do to stay in that zone? Don't allow to focus on the negative to steal your energy from the positive. You could stop and change your mindset if you really want to. Don't allow the past to deem your future as well. Things change and change equals stress and uncertainty, but it's going to be necessary for you to grow. So as soon as you want to revert to past memories, remember zap and start fresh. Keep your attention right. Follow me on all my socials. I'm DJ Man3 on Facebook, Daniel Manginelli on LinkedIn. Hey, do me a favor if you're watching this on YouTube. I'd really like this podcast to keep going each week to try to bring little tidbits of my missteps and misfalls and all the things that I have because I'm trying to figure it out too. Please subscribe and like this podcast. It really helped me out. You get a copy of my latest book, Shake It Up, Big Dreams and Bold Choices on the Road to Success on manginelligroup.com, MANGINELLI group.com on the resource tab. Pick up one of those books if you'd like. I love your questions of feedback. Please send me something in the message section. I'm blessed that you guys took the time with me today. Go have fun and make some dreams come true.